Yes, Massive and Crew back once again with another video, and in this video is a quick response to the man like Scratch 1000 who says, I just got an AKAI S3000 but I have no idea how to set it up with DAW and mixer. A video response explaining how to set one up would really go with some blah blah blah. Video response explaining how to set one up ready to go with DAW and mixer would be much appreciated. Big ups for all the constant info. Okay guys, right, so anyway, here we have an AKAI S3000XL. Principle's the same. This is my test machine for when I make the HXC M&As. Right, so without waffling, okay, so first thing you got to do, you're going to need obviously a computer, yeah, to connect this to. You're going to need a MIDI cable, yeah, and you're also going to need some sort of loom, and obviously assuming you've got a mixer as well, right? So you said you've got a mixer already, yeah? So what you do, let's start with round the back. So I'm going to do a little 101 of round the back of the AKAI. So on the back you've got your power cable, yeah, the old kettle leads. That's where your power goes. Cool. That's the easy part. Okay, now it's all easy. So on the back of mine, I've got some connectors. I've got my outputs here, yeah. So my outputs from the AKAI, on the AKAI you've got 8 outputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 outputs. They will go onto the inputs on your mixer. 8 inputs on the mixer, and the outputs obviously is if you want separate channels, because you might want to put a break on channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. Channel 4, channel 5, channel 6, channel 6. So break on one, bass on another, snare on an 8, so on. You get the drift, right? Just like as if you're using Cubase, but this time you're using hardware, right? So now, also on the AKAI, you've also got stereo out. Now the stereo out part is like just your basic left and right. So until you actually assign anything to the outputs, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it will just naturally come through the stereo output as default. Yeah. Now the stereo output level is controlled from here. So whatever you have on the volume here, turn up, that will come through. Right, I'm in the middle of the video. Ciao. Right. So that's that. Okay, so next you want to be able to sample. So I would recommend getting a cable and plugging it into the inputs. Now you've got inputs here, you've got the input left and right. Remember on the AKAI you mainly sample in mono, because the memory is quite limited. You don't really want to sample in stereo, but you can put a stereo cable in there, 2 jacks in there, and then just have one dangling about, you know, just to keep it simple. Or you can just wire that to an output on your mixer, some sort of sub out or something. So if you wanted to sample, you send it to the sub out on your mixer, yeah, and then you would just feed a line into here, and you'd be able to sample. Next up, we've got the MIDI connections. So on your DAW, not your DAW, sorry, on your computer you must have an audio interface. The audio interface must have MIDI. The MIDI out from your audio interface would go into the MIDI in here, and that would connect it straight to the sample. Obviously you've got an out and a through, but they're there to connect other pieces of equipment in the studio. But for this tutorial I'm just going to stick to just getting this. So you want to go from MIDI out on your audio mixer to the MIDI in, on your sampler. The next thing you've got to do now is you've got Scuzzy Port. Now on mine I've got a built-in Scuzzy here. This Scuzzy Port here, as you can see, right, that Scuzzy Port is for connecting your computer. If you're going to connect a computer to this, I would recommend having a second computer, or if you just want to keep it all old school, you can still have the same one computer, all the same, but you'd have to run some old time Cubase. But if you're running modern Cubase and you've got a high spec PC, you probably end up having to get a second computer, like how I've got in my studio. And I've got a Scuzzy card put into there, and you'll have to buy a Scuzzy cable. My one is a 50-pin Centronics to a 25-pin, this is a 25-pin on the back of this. Now depending on which version of the AKAI you've got, that Scuzzy port might vary. It might not be a big port, it might not be a small port, it might be a bigger port, etc. And Once you've done that now, obviously I'm assuming the outputs from your mixer would go to an input on your audio interface, yeah, and obviously from there, that is all the connectivity done. Once you've done the connections, you then need to go to your DAW now, and you would need to assign MIDI out on your DAW, which I'm going to get to in a second. Hey guys, so assuming you've got all your MIDI cables and everything connected the way I said, I'm going to give you a quick example in Renoise how you would go about just literally triggering your sampler. Now obviously making sure that you've got all your key groups set up now, and I've also done a video on key groups which I will put on the show here. You just click on the link here and you can see how to set up your key groups. But assuming you set up all your key groups now and assigned it to the correct MIDI channel, over on my AKAI I've got it here where I've actually assigned it to MIDI channel 1. I've got the Amen assigned to MIDI channel 1 on my AKAI S3000 down here, S3000XL, and then all I do is I would go to my MIDI out and I would go to say MIDI, and then I would select an instrument. Let me go from the scratch. I'll just show you how I do this. So I'll get an instrument. I would go to the MIDI section. I would then select MIDI out, and I would go to say whichever port my MIDI in my audio interface has 2 MIDI ports. So I'd select the correct port. I'm making sure that my wires are going out into the AKAI, out of my out of my MIDI out into my AKAI, and then once that's done, I would then just select the MIDI channel I want to trigger. So say for example, if I've got my not one break on number 2, say I had a tone wave on 2, let's get that going. So I could put my bass on number 2, and then on number 1 I could assign, let's say, my my Amen. So we go to there, output, make sure that's the correct one. I think it's port 1, I believe. Yeah, there you go, port 1's connected. So I've got my Amen on that one. I can even rename up here what it is. I can call it Amen MIDI AKAI. Oh, well, I thought I could. Hold on. Shame. There you go. Okay, still a bit of a bug there. I don't know what happened there. And then I've got my bass line. Let me try renaming that and see what happens now. So I'll call that AKAI bass. Okay, this is a bit iffy on there, but anyway, you could just literally just do that and then bring it back again. AKAI bass. Right, so there we go. So then I could just lay it down, and obviously I would lay down as you would as if you were recording. If you want to see a video with that, smash the like button. And if you want me to upload this this as a HXC floppy drive, the Amen and the bass together, smash that like button, mate. If I get to 100 likes on this video, I will definitely upload an AKAI program where you can download that, create a floppy and load it in yourself. So guys, with that being said, I believe that that is the end of the video so far. If you want to see more AKAI tutorials, please comment down below. Let me know what type of AKAI tutorials that you want to see, and I will do my best to upload that as soon as possible. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, found it useful. Please share with anybody who's on the AKAI. Take care, God bless, peace. So guys, I'm in the studio just jamming along. Got a little AKAI thing running, got a little bass line running, a little time stretch thing. Also